Alright, so we're going to talk about strategies for the TOEFL speaking section. So the entire section is a total of 20 minutes, and this section measures your ability to speak in English about a variety of topics. So there are a total of 6 questions in this section, and they're divided into 2 tasks. So let's look at each of the questions individually. So the first question is a personal preference question. So this question will always ask the student to defend your own personal choice from a given category of people, places, events, or activities. So in order to structure your response, you want to give a quick topic answer. So you just want to state clearly what it is that you want to do or what it is that you like, and then you want to explain why you like it and give examples using your own personal experiences. So let's look at a sample response for this question. So here it asks you, what new skill would you like to learn? And then it clearly asks you to explain why the skill would be good for you to have. So this person, he clearly stated that he wants to learn how to play the guitar. So he answered the question in the very first, in the very beginning. And then he went to explain about why he would like to learn to play the guitar in the next few sentences. So that's how you should answer these questions. And then for question number 2, this is a choice question. So this question will give you a choice between 2 things. So it will ask you to make a decision on which one it is that you prefer. So in order to structure this one, first you need to state which one you prefer, and then you want to use at least 2 reasons using details and examples to clearly state why you prefer that one. So if we look at the sample response for this one as well, so this one asks you, do you like to give oral presentations or to write papers? And then so the student responded by saying that he wants to write papers. So you want to respond to the question first, and then you want to have the 2 reasons why you think writing papers is better than doing oral presentations. So for these questions, you want to use your own personal experiences and your own opinions to back up your answers. So let's move on to question number 3. So for this question, now it's the integrated reading, listening, speaking. So you will have to read a passage and listen to a passage, and then you want to answer the question. So for question number 3, it will always the topic will always be about a campus situation. So for question number 3, you'll read a passage related to a campus issue, and then you'll listen to a passage that's usually a conversation that further comments about the issue or the topic from the reading. And then the question will ask for you to summarize. So you want to summarize the speaker's opinion within the context of the reading passage. So how you want to structure this would be to first, you want to summarize what the topic was about that you read in the passage, and then you want to clearly state what that person's opinion about the reading passage was. They talk about that in the lecture, so look out for that when you're listening to the conversation. And then you want to state the 2 reasons with details from the reading and the lecture, what the person's opinion was. So if we look at a sample response, so the man expresses his opinion about the campus food service, state his opinion, and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. So like I said, you want to first explain what the man expressed his opinion was about the campus food service, and then you want to say the first reason why he holds that opinion, and then another reason why he holds that opinion. And so that's what they do right here. And you want to get these reasons from the conversation that you listen to. Okay? So then let's move on to question number 4. So for this question, you also have to read a passage, listen, and then answer the question. But for this one, the question will ask you to combine what the information was from the reading passage and the lecture. So this will most always be a topic about an academic course, so some kind of like informational text. So you'll probably read a passage on some kind of process or idea from an academic subject, and then you'll listen to a lecture that provides further examples. And then the question will ask you to make a relationship between the two lecture and the reading. So how you want to structure this one is first summarize the topic and the relationship between the reading and listening. Then you want to go on and talk about the main points in the listening and relate it to the information in the reading passage. So if we look at a sample response, so it says, explain ways that a gardener can control plant disease caused by a fungus and explain why these methods work. So first, he says a gardener can control plant disease caused by a fungus. So he explained, he summarized the topic first, and then he went to say one way is to destroy sick plants and also destroy the soil around plants. So now he explains why these methods work. So then he explains it works because a fungus lives in the soil, and then he provides another way that you can control plant disease, and then he explains why that one also works. So notice how these answers are really simple, so you don't want to use any like fancy language. You just want to structure it really carefully so that the evaluator can understand clearly how you answer the question. So then let's move on to question number 5. So for this question, you no longer have a reading passage. You're only listening to a conversation, and it's usually about a campus situation. So this question will always be a problem and solution type of question. So in the conversation, a student will talk about his problem and then probably a solution. And then the question will ask the test taker to first summarize the problem and then to express an opinion about how to solve that problem. So how you want to structure it is first, summarize the person's problem that you heard about in the conversation, and then state the solutions that they talked about in the conversation, and then you want to state which one you prefer and then explain why you prefer that solution, okay? So then if we look at a question, at a sample response, it says describe the woman's problem, and then suggests the man, and then the suggestions that the man makes on how to solve it, and then why you think that woman should do that one. So first, the response says the woman has a problem, yeah, and then it's that the cat is hungry, so that's the problem. And then the response goes on to say the two different suggestions. So the man makes one suggestion to look for another apartment, and then another suggestion is that you give the cat to her mother. So and then you want to express your own opinion about which one you think is better and why. So state which one you think is better, which is, I think the woman should ask her mother to please take care of the cat, so he thinks that the second suggestion is better. And the reason is that so she can visit the cat later and look for an apartment. So he clearly explains why he thinks the second one is better. So this is exactly how you should answer the question. So first state the problem, and then the two solutions, and then which one you prefer and why. So let's move on to question number 6. So this question is a summary type of question. So this one you will also have just one listening portion, which is an excerpt from a lecture, and it's usually about an academic course topic. So for this question, it'll ask the test taker to summarize the lecture and to demonstrate or express all the main points about the lecture. So how you want to structure this is first, state the general topic of the lecture, and then go on to explain all the other main points from the lectures that you heard and support it with a detail. So if we look at a sample response, using points and examples from the lecture, describe the mass migrations of people in the 19th century and explain why these migrations occurred. So obviously the lecture was probably based on mass migration. So first you want to state that. You want to state the general topic, which is mass migration. And then you want to talk about the main points of why these migrations occurred. So he states it. There were several reasons for the mass migration. One was the new type of transportation. Another reason was that people could get free land. So notice how he states that there were several reasons, and then he clearly states that there was one reason, and then gives an example, and then gives another reason, and then gives another example. So that's how you want to structure these responses. So some few general strategies for the speaking section is first, be direct and simple when responding to questions. Try not to stray off topic because then the evaluator will think that you're not answering the question. So if it asks you to summarize, then make sure you summarize and answer all parts of the questions. And then if we look, notice how you have very little time to prep and to respond. So make sure to pace yourself. Don't add any useless details or try to sound fancy. All you need to do is give a logical response that answers the questions clearly. And then last, try to use transition and connecting words to make your response more logical. So you want to use words like first, second, next when you're moving on to the next your next point, and also words such as for example or such as when you're giving examples or details when supporting your main points. So by using terms like that, it'll make your response sound more coherent and organized and make the evaluator think that you're speaking better English.